So I've been getting a lot of questions as to how I got the throttle cable hooked up on my LS1 swapped IS300. So I decided to make a video kind of dedicated to how I got the throttle hooked up. And this is going to be kind of like universally helpful to various LS swaps, not just IS300s, because this is going to be pretty universal with different applications. There is one thing that's kind of specific to the intake manifold I have here, but I'll talk about that here in a second. Let me kind of go through what I have. So I bought a 48-inch LS specific throttle cable from Lokar. Might be how you pronounce it. It's L-O-K-A-R. All this stuff is from Amazon. I'll link all the stuff that I got, but this is specific to LS's because it has the fitting specifically for an LS throttle body. You know, of course, it's got to be cable driven. It comes specifically designed to hook up perfectly to an LS1 throttle body. And the length, you're going to want to get, it's better to get a longer cable than shorter, because of course it's fully adjustable and you can customize it. You can cut it down to length, to the perfect length that you need. But obviously if it's too short, you can't add material back in. You can take away, but you can't add. So it's better to get one that's too long and cut it down to the perfect size. So that's what I did here. I got a 48-inch and I probably cut off like a foot, but you know, like I said, better safe than sorry. So this is going to be specific to LS's because of the fitting, and I got this fitting. It's from ICT Billet. It mounts perfectly. Actually, no, I believe this is from Lokar as well. It's designed to work with this cable. It bolts to the side of the LS1 manifold, and you got some adjustment in here. But let me show you how I ran this into the car. Let's see here. You can, in this case, I used the factory hole that the throttle cable went through, but I did have to make some modifications because to adjust the throw, let me get a light so I can kind of show you what I'm talking about. This where it got a little bit tricky right here. You can adapt the cable to your factory pedal however which way you want. I'm sure you probably can't see very good how I got that working there, but to increase the throw, and what I mean by that is the distance between the pedal and the sleeve has to be as short as possible for the opposite end to retract all the way, basically to go wide open throttle 100%. If the gap on this end of the cable is too long, then you can possibly only open the throttle body halfway. So let me go ahead and start assembling this and show you what I'm talking about. It's kind of hard to make sense of it without actually seeing it. So let me grab this cable. I actually pulled it through the firewall because I needed to make some adjustments. So this is the cable that's going to be fed through the firewall to the throttle body. So what I had to do is make a hole in the firewall, and it's a little bit big because the kit comes with these two lock nuts, and these two lock nuts kind of sandwich the cable on the firewall. One goes on the outside, one goes on the inside of the firewall. And I had to get some washers because the hole is just a little bit too big, so I'm putting washers on this side and on the inside of the engine bay as well. And you tighten these two together, and it's going to sandwich the throttle cable to the firewall. It's going to keep the sleeve still and allow the internal cable to slide back and forth. So let me go ahead and feed this to the firewall and get it out to the engine bay. Right there, there's the hole in the firewall. There's the washer and the locking nut. So that's what's stopping it from coming any further. This is as far as it will come through into the engine bay. And then from here, we can go ahead and slide it into the sleeve. I almost forgot, this side's gonna need a washer as well, so it can sandwich the firewall like I was explaining. Here's my washer for the engine bay side of the throttle cable. So this little threaded section here, this is what you're going to put through the firewall. And of course that nut that I placed on the inside, it's going to thread onto this and secure this firmly onto the firewall. basically you're locking the sleeve in place, but what's moving is the cable inside of the sleeve. So let's feed this cable all the way through and start working on the throttle body side of the linkage. Okay, now I can go ahead and slide this through this portion here. It secures it to the intake manifold. So you have 2 points of adjustments. This is holding the sleeve secure here on this end of the cable, and then of course on the Firewall is the opposite end. You've got 2 points. So you can have adjustment here and adjustment on that end, on both ends. But like I said, if you're not opening all the way, it's because you need to get the sleeve closer to the throttle pedal to give you more leverage, more opening, a bigger opening rate. Because I made that mistake at first and it was not opening all the way, but now it is. So from here I'm just going to feed it through here, and then it's just a matter of securing the throttle body pin. It came with a little Allen, and that secures it to the blade down here. So now that I got this end done, I can go ahead and make sure that threaded part is going through the Firewall, and then I'm going to go inside and grab that locking nut and set it in place, secure it to the Firewall, and then it's basically done. There you go, it's basically done. I do need to get a little bit of torque on that locking nut, but that's what's securing it to the Firewall. Sleeve is held steady in place. Cable goes through the sleeve. Let's go ahead and I'm going to place the GoPro. I'm going to place the camera in the engine bay to make sure I'm still getting 100% wide open throttle and 100% closed throttle. So let's go wide open throttle and see where we're at. Wide open throttle is going to be right here. It's going to be touching that. So let me mount this camera and see what we're looking at. There you have it. There's a quick rundown on how to get your throttle cable situated on your LS swap project. I'll be sure to link the cable that I got and that bracket. That bracket's gonna be good for like your LS1 and LS6 intake. The let's see, if you're using like LS2, LS3 and you're adapting to a cable, that's gonna be a whole nother story. You're gonna need some like custom throttle mounting brackets, throttle cable mounting brackets, because those obviously didn't come with the cable throttle body, but I'm sure people do it. There's got to be a way to adapt it. But yeah, I'll link out everything I got. Hope this video was helpful. If it was, like, subscribe, drop a comment below if you have any more questions, because this video was made off of a comment in one of my other videos, and I decided to make a video specifically for this question. So if you have any questions, just post it below, and I'll see if I can make a video on that and help you out as best as I can. But anyways, see you next video. Later.